Throughout time, people across the world told each other tales of how they came to be, of heroes and monsters, romance and tragedy, death and rebirth. Mythology helped shape the ancient world, explaining the unexplainable. This is Mythology Unleashed. Few concepts of life are as mysterious and as feared as death. It comes in countless different forms, and has been painted in many grim and poetic ways in mythology and folklore. Many cultures speak of an entity that personifies death, a psychopomp, perhaps a god or a spirit, one who is often macabre, standoffish, and even menacing in either appearance or in behavior. From Anubis of Egyptian mythology, to Apwash in Maya mythology, to the Grim Reaper of medieval Europe. Japanese legend has a number of entities closely associated with death and the afterlife, but some of the more recent and most chilling are known as the Shinigami. With a name formed from the words shi and kami, meaning death and god respectively, Shinigami are a relatively more recent aspect of Japanese mythology, first appearing in the lore during the Edo period, when Japan came into contact with Western cultures. It is theorized by many that the Western folktales of a Grim Reaper served as the original inspiration for these Japanese death spirits. Prior to the concept of the Shinigami, traditional Japanese beliefs did not view death as something negative or something to be feared, but as a normal part of the cycle of existence. Much like the European Grim Reaper, the Shinigami are ominous, though not violent figures, who remain invisible to all save for those who are about to die, or those who are dangerously close to death. The appearance of a Shinigami varies from tale to tale, partly due to being invisible to mortal eyes. Though not described as being shapeshifters, Shinigami never have the same look or shape, making them somewhat difficult to immediately recognize to those who encounter them. They may take the form of mist or a non-corporeal body, a savage beast or a docile creature, a samurai warrior or an unassuming vagabond, a beautiful immortal being, or a grotesque demonic figure. To add an even more mysterious aura to them, very little is known about where the Shinigami originate from, though it is presumed that they share the same mother and father as all kami, specifically Izanami and Izanagi, the gods of creation and death. According to legend, the Shinigami appear, often in pairs, when it is a person's preordained time to die, and they then proceed to invite them over the threshold between life and death, in contrast to many other psychopomps who collect human life force in a way similar to a farmer reaping crops, or a hunter catching game. In a classic Japanese story, a man contemplated suicide when his life fell to pieces, and he soon came face to face with a Shinigami. The death spirit explained to the man that it was not his time to die, as the lives of mortals are measured as candles that gradually burn down, and his candle had not yet extinguished. The Shinigami then told him a secret that could help him make some money, a magical incantation that could send death away. So the man pretended to be a doctor, and visited the deathbeds of patients, utilizing the magic words taught to him to repel Shinigami. There was a catch, however, as the incantation could only work if the death spirit was sitting at the foot of the bed. Should the Shinigami be at the person's head, the person's candle is burnt up. Their time has come, and no force on earth could undo this. This magical scam caused the man to become extremely wealthy, but his luck ran out one day when he found a Shinigami sitting at the head of the bed of a dying man. Though there was nothing that he could do, the family of the dying patient offered the fake doctor an obscene amount of money to save their loved one. In a moment of greed and cunning, the man attempted to trick the Shinigami by turning the bed around so that the spirit would be at the person's foot. But when he recited the incantation, his own candle burned out, and he died on the spot. Death gods and psychopomps are a nigh universal concept throughout world mythologies, and are often grim and foreboding in either appearance or behavior, and many times both. The Shinigami of Japanese mythology are no exception to this rule, appearing in a host of different forms when it is a person's time to pass on. Though they were clearly influenced by Western legends, and are notably darker than most other Japanese figures associated with death and the afterlife, the Shinigami harken back to traditional Japanese values of treating death with respect rather than fear, and the kami themselves appearing as almost caretakers to the deceased, rather than a collector or a reaper or a hunter. Nevertheless, the Shinigami were perhaps the last supernatural beings that the Japanese people of long ago wished to encounter. And yet, it was believed that encountering them would be utterly inevitable.